How's it going, guys? My name is Dennis and today we're going to talk about how to create amazing photos on a budget. I wanted to upload this video further in the future, but you insisted on it and you wanted to see how I lit everything. But before that, don't forget to subscribe, smash the like button, and of course, click the notification bell. Go check Dimitri K or Dimitark. He's a friend of mine who is by far the best drummer I know in our country. So without further ado, let's begin.
So we shot these photos with Canon EOS M, which the drummer bought for himself. He's using this camera to record himself and he doesn't need anything special like a cinema camera. So I was like, okay, let's make a photo session with this tiny camera, because you know, shooting with inexpensive gear is actually hard, and that way you're leveling up your skills. So in the end of the day, we saw that the expensive gear is pretty much not important. So first of all, you can see that there's a top light. There's always a top light. Nah, not really. As a matter of fact, I don't like top lighting. But in this case, I thought that it's a good idea. And it was, because he wanted some raccoon eyes and he wanted to look badass and he wanted his face hidden and covered in shadows. The other thing you can see is that we have black sheets as a background, because the room is really ugly. So this is like $10 per meter. So there's another thing. We used, sadly, only one practical. I wanted to use both of them, but the one was broken, so we used the only one we had, and that's an LED, which looks pretty neat, and you can find it in IKEA. It costs like $15. So we had two soft boxes. These soft boxes are like $50 each. They're not pretty good and they're really cheap, but for beginners it's okay. I mean, they do the job. It's a soft light, kinda greenish, but you can fix that in post. So there's one from above, making raccoon eyes, and the other one is the key light. So even though he wanted the raccoon eyes, I was like, come on man, that's ugly. So I decided to put a key light from his right side, and to even up a bit the shadows under his eyes. And I'm only leaving the one, kind of. So if you're shooting a musician, you know, always clean the instruments. Shinier the better. I found this LED here, you can see it. It's like a spot almost. It's a reading light, so it costs $5. I found it in the studio. You can buy it from IKEA again. It has a clamp, so you can put it everywhere you want. So I decided to put it from his other side to imitate the practical, because the practical is really dim. Okay, so that's the final setup. As you can see, we have one softbox from above as a top light, one key light from the right side. There's the little reading light, which will imitate the glow from this practical. And I felt like I need a backlight, and that was a great decision. So I found this LED here, which is a construction LED, and it costs like $5. So this will separate him from the background, even though that it looks like an infinity background. But however, everything looks better with the backlight. So here's the key light, which is lighting this area here, and it's exterminating the shadow from the top light under his eyes. And you can see that the top light is actually making a pretty nice glow on his hair and forehead, and of course his nose, and it will make a shadow under his chin. So there's something really natural with the shadow under the neck, because you know, you see people every day under the sun and they have shadows under their neck. So that's a natural thing for the human eye. But when you want to make a beauty shot, which that's not the case here at all, but when you want to make a beauty shot, you eliminate the shadow under the chin, so you make the model even more beautiful. However, it looks kind of strange. Just a bit of haze, so now you can see the light rays better because of the smoke. That's actually the final setup. And again, we have a top light, we have a key light, we have a backlight, we have this LED which imitates the glow from the practical, and of course some smoke. So pretty much that's it. Okay, so let's see the setup again, but from another perspective. You can see that there's some noise in the pictures because the camera is pretty cheap. It's like $200 or something, but I'm happy how they came out. So here's the construction LED which made this halo here. So these lines here are separating the subject from the background. The other thing is that you can see the water only because of the backlight. Remember this, if you want to see any kind of particles, water or haze, you need a backlight to see it. This water would not be visible without the backlight, and the harder the backlight, the better. This light over here on the nose and just a bit on the face are cast from the top light. This here, which is around 3200 kelvins, you say that it's from the practical, but in reality it's from the little LED that we put there. And of course you can see that key light is lighting this part. Let's see another photo. You can see the background, the backlight here, and I've done something else here. It was like a bonus light, more likely like a blick. I thought that it will engage the viewer a bit more. So again, here's the key. We have the backlight here, we have the practical here, then we have the small LED here, and yeah, the top light. So can you guess the bonus light? I found a flashlight, like a torch, and it was in my hand while I was making the photo. So this is from the side of the camera, as you can see, and it's not bad. I mean, it's nothing special, but it's something which gives more to your image. And as a matter of fact, that's your job, to make a 2D image to look like a 3D image. So okay, let's see another photo. So that's a version without a hoodie, and so there's a bit of change in the lighting setup. So this here wouldn't have been possible without the top light. However, if we haven't had this key light here, the shadow would have been really dense. Let's talk about this glow here. Maybe you think that it comes from the practical. Well, as a matter of fact, it comes from the LED. I just moved it a bit so we can make the glow and to give the image even more depth. And there's something else about the backlight. So this time I found a white sheet. It wasn't like it was not a legit diffusion. It was just a white sheet. So I put it on the LED to make the backlight a bit softer, because I don't know, hard lights don't look pretty well on skins. As you can see, in the end of the day, you really don't need something expensive to make a good photo, and some clients will be more than satisfied from this quality. Of course, it will look better if, I don't know, you shoot it with the Sony Alpha 3 or something. You won't look professional enough using this setup in front of the client, but what's important is the final product. So you can make this lighting setup exactly the same, or use two practicals instead of one, and it doesn't have to be on a musician. It looks moody and kind of dark. I mean, dark like a feeling dark, you know, like aggressive and badass look. So remember guys, be creative, level up your skills. Even if you are a professional cinematographer, photographer or whatever, just try to experiment sometimes with DIY stuff, because in the end of the day, that way you will level up your skills. Believe me, I've learned a lot from this photo session, even though that I'm working as a cinematographer for more than 8 years. So as always, thanks for watching guys. Don't forget to subscribe, share with a buddy or two, click the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video.